Sage CRM has an easy-to-use reporting tool that lets you edit and create reports. In this tutorial, we'll build a report that lists our contacts along with some selected details and groups them by territory. Before we begin, it's important to note that you'll need info admin rights in order to create and edit reports. So now let's jump right in and get started. You'll find the Reports icon on the left side menu, and clicking it opens the Reports homepage. Reports are organized by category, and here we have the ones that come standard with Sage CRM. Note that you can add new ones using the icon on the right side of the page. The report that we're going to create best fits in the General category. After we create our report, we'll find it listed here. So let's get underway by clicking New. We'll name the report Contacts by Territory. This will be the name that will appear in the list of reports on the previous page. Reports can be List, Crosstab, or Historical, and we'll choose List for our example. The description is optional, and we'll leave it blank. Report Style lets you choose whether or not you want grid lines separating your data. We'll leave it set to Standard with grids. Moving to Category, you can change it here if necessary, and we'll leave it set to General. Rows per page is displayed for list reports and applies to on-screen output only. We'll leave it set to 20. Moving to the checkboxes and starting with Private Report, if checked, only the user who creates the report will see it in the report list. Auto-hyperlinking will hyperlink the contents of the report, so for example, you can click on a person's name and Sage CRM will jump to their summary page. We'll enable this for our demo. Show Original Currency Values will display the currency values entered in the system rather than the user's preferred currency. Select Distinct Values removes duplicate rows in the report. For example, in the overlay, we have a report listing companies that have high priority cases. Notice that the company Design Right appears 3 times since it has 3 high priority cases. If the same report is run again with Select Distinct Values enabled, we'll get the result you see here with Design Right appearing only once. Enabling Filter by Current User, User's Primary Team, or User's Home Territory will restrict the results accordingly. Moving to Source View, this is perhaps the most challenging choice for new users, mainly because of the numerous options. However, for most reports, it's actually quite simple. For reports involving the main entities, companies, people, leads, opportunities, or cases, the applicable source view will likely be the summary for that entity. So in our case, the main entity for our report will be contacts or persons in Sage CRM lingo, so we'll select the person summary. Notice that once we selected our source view, the screen refreshed and the Select Column and Report Output panels were added to the page. Using these panels, we can now select the information that we want to appear in the report, set up the search criteria, and configure sorting and grouping of the report contents. Note that the fields included in the Select Column list will be specific to the source view that you chose in the panel above. So let's begin by selecting our report contents. Notice that the fields here are grouped by address, company, and person. In the overlay, you can see the fields or columns that we're going to add to the report contents. So beginning with city, we'll highlight Address City, then click Add to Report Contents. And notice that it now appears in the Report Contents box. Next, we'll highlight Company Name, click Add, then Company Account Manager, click Add, and now we'll scroll down and we'll highlight Person Business Email and click Add, then Person First Name, click Add, Person Last Name, click Add, and finally Title, and notice that we have Person Title and Title Code. Title is the free text field on the person's record where we enter the title from their business card. In other words, it's what they call themselves, whereas Title Code is a selection list field that allows us to standardize these titles into functional ones for marketing purposes. The fields that we selected for our report contents will be the columns in our report. So the top to bottom order that we have here will be the left to right order of the columns in the report. Let's rearrange them using the up and down arrows, and we'll move last name to the top of the list, which will be the far left column in the report. Then we'll move first name to the second column, then title to the third, city we'll keep as fourth, then account manager, and let's put email after city. Now let's set up the arrangement of our report results starting with the grouping. And we want to group by territory, so returning to the field list, let's scroll back up and select Company Territory, then click Add to Group By. Importantly, if you're going to group by a field, it should not be added to both the report contents and Group By. It should only be added to Group By. Within each territory grouping, we want to sort by the person's last name, so scrolling down, we'll highlight it, then hit Add to Sort On. Now we'll set up our search criteria. We want to restrict our list to Chief Financial Officers, which we'll do using the title code field. So we'll go back to the field list, select Person Title Code, then click Add to Search Criteria. We also want to restrict the results to our U.S. East, Central, and West territories, so we'll scroll up and select Company Territory and add it to the search criteria. We also would like the flexibility in this report to be able to restrict our results based on the account manager, so we'll make this selection and add this as well. If you need to employ a complex search query, you may need to use the Advanced Find feature. If so, leave the search criteria on this page blank, then check Advanced Find, and then hit Continue. Here you would use the powerful features of the Advanced Find to build your query. We covered the Advanced Find in another tutorial, so we won't elaborate further here. Let's now return to the previous screen and disable Advanced Find. If your company employs the Key Attribute feature, you can use key attribute data for your report contents and search criteria. Key attributes are also covered in a separate video, so we won't go any deeper here. Now we're ready to move on to the next step, so we'll hit Continue. The search criteria we set up on the previous page is displayed here. If we make our selections on this page, they'll be remembered whenever we run the report. Alternatively, we can leave it as is and make our selections when the report is run. Let's go ahead and make our selections now. Recall that we want to restrict our list to Chief Financial Officers in the U.S. East, Central, and West territories, and we held down the Control key when clicking to make multiple selections here. We'll run this for all of our account managers, and to select all, we'll click on the first, then scroll to the end, and shift-click the last. Now we'll click Continue. On this page, we'll add some formatting to our report. Let's start by entering a title, and this will be the title that appears at the top of the report, rather than the title that we added at the start that appears in the report selection list. Moving to header settings, we can place content in 3 positions at the top of the page. In the left corner, we'll put our logo. In the center, we'll put our title, and in the right corner, we'll go with the date. In the footer, we'll go with just the page number in the center. Moving to summary settings, checking Show Summary Data will display grand totals for columns where we set a function in the column formatting panel below. We'll enable this for our example. The next 2 panels, Group and Sort Orders, will only appear if you've added to the Group By and Sort By lists in the Report Output panel a few steps back. The default sort order is ascending, and you can change it to descending by checking the box. You also have the option to sort by caption order or translation order. If none is selected, the default is to sort alphabetically on the caption code. Moving to column formatting. Here we can have certain functions performed on the columns in the report. The functions available are dependent on the type of data in the column. Since the columns in our report don't include any numeric information, The only option here is to provide a count of the results, which we'll select for the person last name column. To see other functions available, let's look at a sales report, which you can view in this overlay. Here you can see that for the opportunity forecast, the functions available are average, count, max min, and sum. Returning to our report, we can set the alignment of the data in the columns to the left, center, or right, and we'll choose left for all of our columns. Moving to the last panel, here we can add a chart to our report, and since this is also covered in another tutorial, we won't dive any deeper here, but we do recommend that you view the report chart video. So now let's scroll back up and click Save. Our report is now included under the General category, and let's run it by clicking the link. Here you have the opportunity to amend your search settings, and we'll keep them as is and hit Go. This report has 3 pages, and we can use the arrows to advance through them. You can see that our list is grouped by territory with a total for each. At the bottom, we have a grand total showing that there are 46 contacts listed in our report. Also, recall that we turned on auto hyperlinking, and we'll need to move the report over and adjust its width to show this. When we click on a person, Sage CRM jumps to their record, and we can do the same for the company column. And that completes our demonstration. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in your Sage CRM system. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.